जय हिंद दोस्तों, मैं हूं मेजर मोहम्मद अली शाह और आज मेरा बहुत बड़ा सौभाग्य है. आई एम रियली ब्लेस्ड एंड ऑनर्ड to have someone who I really respect, revere, and look up to as an elder brother. He has been a inspirational force. I mean, a lot to a lot of people, especially to me. And he's always been very nice and kind to me and very, very sweet. And he, in fact, to everyone, in fact, for that matter, who needs no introduction, he is, well, you all know him as the twin brother of Captain Vikram Batra. Yes, no doubt, of course, Captain Vikram Batra is a legend and will live in our hearts and minds forever. But let me tell you all, Vishal Bhai, as I fondly call him, is a legend himself in his own right as well. He is the retail banking, he's got a new role, of course, and we were just discussing that. But let me tell you a bit about his previous role and his new role as well, slightly. He was a retail banking and financial banking professional. He was having an overall experience of 20. He has over 20 years of experience in that, right? He was a retail and banking management and sales and distribution, rural, agricultural, and inclusive banking with focus on PSL. We will tell you all about what PSL is, many of you would be wanting to know. And service across assets and liabilities, distribution of third-party products, management, and driving profitability, new branch setup, service quality, and operations management. Well, let me tell you one more thing. As a retail business head, he was leading a team size of close to over 8,000 people across 8 different states. Well, if I have to name a few of them, Chandigarh, Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, across various business functions of retail assets, retail liabilities, wealth management, which includes branch banking, outbound sales, training and compliance, marketing, and service and quality. Well, specialties, retail branch banking, sales, including PSL. Now, I told you we will come to PSL as well. Agricultural banking, service distribution for both liabilities assets, agricultural assets lending, training on retail banking products, operations management and service quality, third-party products distribution, new branch setup, and of course, we will discuss his new role as well. There's a lot more. I can just go on and on. But without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together online, virtually, and please welcome Mr. Vishal Batra. Jai Hind, Vishal Bhai. Thank you very much for taking your time.
Thank you so much, Major Shah. It's absolute honor. And first of all, let me wish you and everyone in the audience around a very happy Kargil Vijay Divas. And it's always been pleasure interacting with you. We are so proud of you as well. You coming in from the forces. And I think it's an honor for all of us, in fact, to hear you and your viewpoints. And of course, I will try answering whatever you would want to ask me. And thank you so much for a lovely introduction. I'm just doing my job, nothing else. I think that all comes as a part of my responsibility. But thanks for such a lovely introduction. God bless.
That is very humble of you to say that. Very, very humble of you to say that. Vishal Bhai, firstly, you are doing exceedingly well for yourself. You are, and the whole nation is, of course, very proud of your brother. And in your own right, if one have to put Mr. Vishal Batra out of the shadows of Captain Vikram Batra, which I'm sure, I mean, you love that. That's a different thing. But still, the heights you have reached in your corporate career, it is really an inspiration, because I am myself a management student from IIM Calcutta, and we have studied about you. We have spoken about you, in fact. So tell me a bit about your childhood. As a twin brother, having a twin brother. So how was it like growing up?
I think first of all, being identical twin, we were very similar, and we used to be very, very outgoing guys in terms of either the sports or any other activity. And the best part of the childhood was that we dreamt of donning the uniform together. And to me, the most beautiful memory is that, when we decided this dream of donning the uniform, joining the forces, unfortunately, I was not recommended by the board thrice. But I was lucky enough to attend my first SSB Service Selection Board interview along with Vikram Bhai together. And we both went to Allahabad. Right. And I think that's one of the most fondest memory. And we always wanted to make some difference in the life. That's a different thing that destiny wanted me to draw out a separate line for me because mom always ended up believing that she was blessed with the two sons only because one had to live for the country and one had to live for them. So childhood was full of laughter, full of pranks, full of travels together, because as I mentioned, we both were very very keen sports person. We both represented our schools in all India nationals, in table tennis, in karate. We both were very very keen roller skaters. So right from our early childhood, I would say rather from class 6th onwards or 7th onwards, if I remember it, we started moving out of the house for playing representing school in various tournaments across. Sometimes we were traveling to Chennai, sometimes we were traveling to Agra, sometimes we were traveling to Delhi, sometimes we were traveling to Jammu. So we had a lot of fun together, picking up the cues from each other that who's better of the two. Though we never had a competition among each other, because end of the day we always ended up believing, चाहे विक्रम जीते या चाहे मैं जीतूं, ट्रॉफी घर में ही आएगी. अब वो एक आएगी, दो आएगी, it never made a difference to us. So that was the kind of the bonding we had. And I think every memory is very, very fresh in my mind. A lot to talk about, but I think that's in a nutshell what I can tell you is that today, while I would have a lot of gray hair, Vikram is as youthful as 24 when he, laid down his life for the country. But I draw a lot of inspiration from him because he set a benchmark, for me also. Because end of the day, being an identical twin, I had to do something else in my life. And I would always say that, when I was not recommended my first SB, I attempted it thrice. And Vikram was the one who guided me. Vishal, it's better you choose out a career in the private sector, because in the forge, nobody knows better than you that you have an age of retirement at a specific grade, right? And if you don't make it early, end of the day, you realize that you've really not grown through the ranks. And somewhere I think it ended up that I ended up in a private sector.
जो होता है अच्छे के लिए होता है. Look at this. I mean, look where you are today, and it is whatever the good Lord does, He does it for their own betterment. In fact, so tell me one thing. Growing up,
it's a good thing telling me. I'll tell you. I personally believe that while I couldn't don the uniform, and I personally believe that I'm more Fauji than a real Fauji. I'm sorry, pardon me for that, but
you're right. You're right.
Functioning of the Fauji, and fortunately, I think I must give credit to my own bank today that the profile what I'm handling today is a business head role all India for serving the men in the uniform. So I'm a business head for defense and paramilitary forces ecosystem of the country, and today my job is only to go out and do banking with the men in the uniform. And I think I'm loving meeting all my men in the uniform coming from all the forces, whether Army, Navy, Air Force. So somewhere I think destiny drew it in the fun in the fashion that while I couldn't don the uniform, but I'm serving the men who are donning the uniform. Absolutely. So that way, I think I'm lucky.
Absolutely. Also, I want to ask you, as a identical twin, in your childhood, did it ever happen that you put proxy attendance in class for your brother, or he put a proxy attendance for you, or you went disguised as him, or he went disguised as you, as to proxy for anyone, not just in class, otherwise also?
But yes, in the graduation we had done this. We used to do a proxy round, but what happened that during our graduation days, Vikram was doing BSc Medical Sciences, and I did my first year of BSc Medical Sciences along with Vikram together. I was not enjoying it, so I passed my BSc first year, but I realized that anyhow I'm not going to become a doctor, and I'm trying to become a Fauji also. Why studying science, and let me shift to commerce. So I shifted to commerce, and in one of the examinations, which was midterm examination, jo hote hain aapke, right? So I think it was second year of our graduation or midterm exams there, and Vikram got stuck up in another engagement, right? And he asked me to write one of his exams, so I wrote his chemistry exam. Right, and I scored better than what he scored in chemistry 1. I scored better in chemistry 2. So he said, "Arey, tu bhi meri jagah pe BSc kar sakta tha, yaar, But that happened in one of so proxy we used to do a lot of times. That used to happen, but proxy mein kya hota tha, thoda फंस जाते थे because we were so identical that you couldn't have really done that. But we used to do this kind of an act, and even when we used to sit for examinations, and since we were Vikram and Vishal, and we being one of the last alphabets, हमारे रोल नंबर हमेशा लास्ट में आते थे, तो विक्रम आगे होता था, मैं पीछे होता था. तो कई बार ऐसा होता था ठीक है 50% तू पढ़ाई कर ले, 50% मैं कर लेता, and we used to exchange the papers, right? So that we used to do a lot during our school days also, and even during our college days, right? So that was, I think, a plus point. Right.
So Captain Vikram Batra was a demo type cadet in NCC, and if I'm not mistaken, you were in the NCC as well, and you have always been a keen cricketer. In fact, you've been a very very keen cricketer. So tell me about your
watching as a sport, but not played, to be very honest. Major Saab, I represented All India School in nationals, as I mentioned. Not me, in fact, both me and Vikram. we were very, very keen, in table tennis. We represented nationals. In karate, I was a brown too. I was just one shot of a black belt when I met with an accident. I had to leave the sport because of a very severe, serious injury in my arm. And Vikram was a green belt, grade 2. And we were very, very keen roller skaters, in fact. And Vikram picked up squash as a sport post joining the academy. But cricket, of course, we used to play typically gully cricket or a school cricket, but never got into the into a school team or something like this. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So tell me about your stint in the NCC. How was it in the NCC? And did you manage your C certificate? Did you do 3 years in NCC, or how was it?
No, I 1 year of my NCC. I just did 1 year in the army wing, and of course, then what happened that since I had to, I shifted to commerce and I had to leave DAV College Chandigarh, and I went to Shimla University in the SD College, and there I couldn't continue. But Vikram, of course, was a part of the NCC for the air wing, and he continued for 3 years, and for 2 consecutive years, he was declared as the best cadet of the Punjab Directorate, and he ended up getting a C certificate, I think, which is one of the most prestigious certificate, and he also ended up representing the NCC Directorate of Punjab in the 1994 Republic Day parade, because I believe that RD parade used to be one of the dream for any of the NCC cadet to really represent his directorate, right? So he ended up doing, but I continued only for a year, and after that I had to leave it.
आपने बिल्कुल दुरुस्त फरमाया. रिपब्लिक डे परेड इज द अल्टीमेट, मतलब इट इज द
Yes.
बक स्टॉप है, उसके आगे कुछ है ही नहीं, मतलब.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
जी जी. So tell me, you went for Captain Vikram Batra's passing out parade. How was the
Yes.
experience when you saw your twin brother in uniform and with stars on his shoulders, the uniform and trapping, and आपको, you must have been like, अरे यार, मैं भी फौज में कमीशन प्राप्त कर रहा होता शायद.
It was very, very, I would say it was a moment of the pride, right, as well as a moment of the emotions. And why would I say pride is let me tell you, when we went for RSSB together, and we were from an average middle class family, and we were 4 siblings, right? 2 brothers, 2 sisters. My mom and dad were teachers. And dad हमको हमेशा बोलते थे कि your father doesn't have money, that tomorrow you come back to me and tell me set up a shop for 10 lakh rupees and I have the 10 lakh. I'm not going to do it for you. You guys better study hard and find your way. So when me and Vikram went for our SSB together, which was the first SSB we ever faced, I'll tell you the date also. 12th of March 96, Vikram Batra reporting into 19 SSB Allahabad. 14th March 1996, Vishal Batra reporting into 18 Allahabad. With a difference of just 1 day. And we thought that
I'm 18 board, Allahabad. I'm 18 board, Allahabad. Vishal bhai, you have been totally mesmerized on hearing 18 board. I'm just kidding. I'm just pulling your leg.
Yeah.
There is a network issue from Vishal bhai's end. But दोस्तों देखा आपने सुना आपने जैसी मैंने इलाहाबाद 18 बोर्ड एसएसबी का नाम लिया जी.
Yeah, so we had a difference of just 1 day reporting, and you won't believe it, Ali bhai, that we were just praying that out of 2 of us 1 gets through, so that both of us can go with a head held high कि at least 2 बेटे गए थे, एक बेटा clear करके आ गया. And we knew that we have 2 sisters to get married to, and so at least one of the brother is an army officer. And Vikram made it, and I was devastated. And let me tell you, Vikram also got very upset when I couldn't make it, because मेरे पास एक दिन का advantage था. So when we used to share end of the day, because it used to start early in the morning at 6, I'm sure you've been an army officer, you would have faced an SSB. शाम को मिलते थे, he used to tell me your story is better than what I have written, right? And on 16th of March, because after 4 days, when his interview got concluded, and you typically assemble in a hall, and you're called, and I was waiting, and believe me, my GT had just got over ground test. And I was genuinely waiting that what happened to Vikram's result, because it is going to be out in a couple of hours. And when Vikram went, so incidentally, Vikram group had almost close to 6 friends who were common to Vikram. And Vikram को प्यार से college में जानी बोलते होते थे. So I was, just toiling around there. After my GT, it was around 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So मैंने ऐसे wave किया. I saw some of the guys coming back with their luggages, right? Hey guys, what is the result? And one of the voice came, guy, hey bhai, Jani is through. I believe you me, I lost. मैंने कहा चल ठीक है, विशाल बत्रा अगर तेरा नहीं भी होगा ना, Vikram has made it. So I got very devastated. And then of course, Vikram really, held up me very, very strongly. Don't worry, it was just the first attempt. You don't have to worry. But yes, coming back to the same question, when I reached the academy on 6th of December 97, on the day of the passing out, it was movement of the pride, because I had seen Vikram in this plus sign. You clear your SSB, so your chest number of 4 goes out and you put a plus sign, right? It all flashed back. He was the same guy who, your own brother, your own blood, your own sibling who attended the SSB together is becoming a commissioned officer. And of course, there was a little pain. I wish I could don the uniform. But then I think the moment of pride was far bigger than the moment of the emotion is what I believe in.
You are a true inspiration for, in your capacity, for people who attempt something but they fall and they don't make it. Like, you have no common mention that you tried for SSB 3 times, and I think thank God for the fact that एक तरीके से अच्छा होता आप फौज में आते हैं, मगर अब आप देखिए, अब आप खैर फौज की सेवा कर रहे हैं अपने अलग तरीके से, अलग अंदाज में, and you are made for that. So you reach the pinnacle of success, the height you have reached. You probably couldn't have done this kind of a service when you would have been in the army, and your brother, of course, apart, your same flesh, same blood, same DNA as you, has done the ultimate service to the nation, in fact. So, so any advice for our aspirants, army aspirants, who do not make it to SSB many times, who get into depression, who get into, the world is ended, अब तो वही क्या करें, वो डिप्रेस हो जाते हैं सोच के, उनके बारे में क्या बोलेंगे आप उनको?
So two advice I'll give. One, we always say that you should always have a fallback plan. I don't believe that you should have a fallback plan. You should always fall forward. You have to be forward looking. It's very, very important, because end of the day, that is not the career. It's not a question that it's the end of your life. Certain things, what I personally believe, what I've learned, to be very honest, and I can say it with full conviction, from Vikram's loss, is that, when you come as a human being, when you take a birth, right, there's something which is called destiny, which is defined for you. And you can only attempt. So if you're not putting 100% in terms of attempt in making it up, then you're failing.
Fail पे दोबारा वीडियो पॉज हो गया, but I will tell you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my dear friends, I perceive failure as FAIL, first attempt in learning.
And number 2,
and when you hear no as an answer, it means next opportunity. And when you hear end as an answer, it means an endeavor or an effort never dies. And Mr. Vishal Batra is an epitome of that, of inspiration. That, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my dear friends, the army aspirants, those who've done NTC, do not get discouraged in case you do not make it in your SSB. And Vishal Bhai's video, yes, Vishal, sorry, there was a network issue. Ji. Audio is gone, is it? Can you hear me, Vishal Bhai, now? आपको शायद कॉल आ रही होगी, that's why, when a regular call comes, then the audio goes. What happens is, if wait, I can see you but can't hear you. We log in and log out again. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you saw Vishal Batra ji. What an inspiration he is. Today, he is extremely successful in his corporate career. He is doing extremely well. There he's back. And back with a bang.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Vishal bhai. Welcome back.
I was able to see you, but I was not able to hear you.
आपको क्या हुआ होगा ना? Probably a call must have come. Probably
no,
around the same time.
No, I think there's some connectivity issue, but there's no call.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Not to worry. So coming back to the same, so my personal view is that, it's second point, what I want to do, really tell the young aspirants is that every failure is a first step towards success, is what I learned in my life. I was also dejected, but end of the day, sometimes it happens that you have to believe in destiny, that you meant for some different thing. And to me, I always ended up believing that somewhere I have to be connected to the forces, because I love the uniform. I love the men in the uniform. I love their courage. I love their valor. So somewhere it is not about that everything you aspire will be given to you by God. All right. आपने खुद ही बोला कि could be possibly I couldn't make it because destiny had this time like this fashion for me that, one of us had to go early, right? Could be that he's only gone physically. Last 23 years today, when we complete 23 years of the Kargil, I don't think a single day goes, by where we don't remember him. So it is more about creating a bench for yourself, working towards the dream, have a goal, and work towards that goal. Because a dream is just a dream if you don't have a goal, if you don't have a post, and have short-term objectives first, rather than looking at a bigger picture. Until you don't draw a small steps for you, you will never reach the bigger places. So always make it a point that have plans, have short plans, take those small steps, and you'll realize that you're the most happiest person one day, irrespective whether you serve the motherland. And it is about serving the motherland. So not necessarily that the other people who are the civil servants don't serve the motherland. It's only that your profile could be different. You're serving it in a different fashion. That's the only thing what I can really address to the audience. And last and not the least, but believe in yourself. That is the most important thing. Believe in yourself. राइट कहते हैं कि एक कहावत है बहुत मैंने बहुत पहले सीखी थी, that if you can't stand for your own self, you'll fall for anything. So believe in yourself and stand for yourself, whatever the profession could be. That's what only I can tell the young aspirants, who want to don the uniform or who want to do anything in their career, I would say.
Wow, क्या खूब कहा आपने. So tell me one thing, after you did not make it to SSB third time, फिर आपने क्या करा? Then you obviously thought that, now I should do a job, or were you getting overaged for your fourth attempt, or did you think of a fourth attempt, or you said, okay, now let me now settle for something else in the civil life?
So I was already doing, so I took my last term, Ali Bhai, when I was doing my MBA. I was in the second year of my MBA. Right.
Okay.
And then of course, Vikram also advised me that, Vishal, it's too late for you joining the force at the age of 22 and a half. Right. And then, of course, I was doing, and I got into a job. And then, of course, I had my own struggle. I started very small. I can only share my learning. Rather, I continued dreaming of, donning the uniform. And incidentally, I thought I'll join a TA as a force. Right. But let me tell you, Ali Bhai, I personally believe that I could have got medically rejected even if I would have cleared my SSB, because I mentioned with you that I was just one shot of a black belt when I met with a very fatal accident, and I had to be operated upon for one of my limbs, and I have the steel rods in my arm, right? So that could have anyhow led to a medical rejection, is what I believed, is what I got to know also.
Correct.
So while so I personally believe that I think I was lucky enough that I could clear my examinations. I could still tell the world around that I still, despite the fact, even when I attempted my SSB thrice, somewhere in the hindsight, I knew that medically I'm going to get rejected. But I never gave up on giving my attempts. I thought you never know if you click through, you'll click through. So at least I didn't stop there.
This was all with the hand where you had the metallic rod inside.
Yes, it is a lifelong. I still have those rods in my arm.
तो जाहिर सी बात है, तो आपका अगर SSB through भी हो जाता है, you would have medically been not selected. There is a network issue. I am so sorry about that. And either Vishal Bhai, let me move the laptop a bit towards the modem and see. I hope it comes back. But anyhow, look at this, a martial artist just short of getting a black belt, a corporate big gun, a true inspiration, a legend. And there's a lot to learn from Vishal Bhai. Every time I connect with him, there's so much. He is an ocean of knowledge, an encyclopedia, a very humble, a very down-to-earth person who is just attached to his roots, who he's gone out of the frame and he'll be back in a minute, hopefully. And so, ladies and gentlemen, today is Kargil Vijay Divas, and today also happens to mark 1 year of the film Shershah, in which Captain Vikram Batra's life, his personal story, his love life is shown in a way. And of course, Vishal Bhai is one of the co-producers of this film. He was very kind to have given the rights to Shabir Boxwala, who I had interviewed in the afternoon, sometime a few hours back, couple of hours back. It's there on my YouTube channel. And so yes, so that's, I don't know if let me call up Vishal Bhai and check if his network is supporting him. Just a minute, and but really, what a true inspiration! What a true inspiration! Just calling in. Okay, Vishal bhai. Sure, sure. Please take your time. Please take your time. So Vishal bhai is trying to connect through Wi-Fi, and he should be back any moment now. But now, when he comes back, वो कहते हैं ना, मिलते हैं ब्रेक के बाद. तो क्योंकि इन्होंने फिल्म भी प्रोड्यूस करी, शेरशाह. तो शेरशाह, अब वो ब्रेक पार्ट वन पार्ट टू. अब पार्ट टू, आफ्टर द इंटरवल, आफ्टर द ब्रेक, वी विल टॉक अबाउट his venture as a producer, about this film, about the journey in this film, and how life, because Shershah is something, yeah, he's back, is something which we all have seen.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Not at all, Vishal bhai. Great to see you. So while you were away, so
I don't know why.
ji ji.
I don't know why this
while
one's
you were
connected
away,
to another phone.
so while you were
Sorry, go ahead.
away, I, so while you were away, I said, जैसे कि मिलते हैं ना, ये फिल्मों में होता है कि there's an interval and then there's a part two. So I said अभी मिलते हैं दोबारा ब्रेक के बाद. तो उसके बाद फिर अभी ब्रेक लिया. Now comes the time, because मैंने फिल्म बोला, तो let's discuss about when you turned a co-producer for the film Shershah, and you were very kind enough
Yeah.
to give Shabir Boxwala the rights
Yeah.
when he met you and such things. And in fact, Shabir bhai, who's like an elder brother to me, he got me introduced to you. He told me, number and message. I had sent you a text first, and then you were very kind. You did
Yeah.
not say, I requested you
remember that.
when could be a good time for me to call you up, please. And you were so gracious. You did not reply that, it's time to call karna na. You called back. And we hit off like I don't know what.
Yes.
I mean, it was probably the फौजी blood or क्या, मतलब ऐसा मेरे को लगा ही नहीं बिल्कुल भी कि मैं आपसे पहली मर्तबा बात कर रहा हूँ जिंदगी में. And ever since then, let me tell you, I have been a huge fan, a huge admirer. I've been idolizing you for many qualities of yours, Vishal bhai. So now let's talk about your journey. Thank you. About becoming a co-producer for the film Shershah. Whose journey? How did it happen?
So it was in fact, we always had a dream. एक दिन हम बैठे हुए थे, मैं और डैड ने ऐसे बोला यार कि why not we should have a movie on Vikram. And कहते हैं कि sometimes तो दिन में एक बार सरस्वती आपके उसमें बैठती है. And incidentally we got a call from Shabir bhai that he has an idea, and of course he had read about Vikram and Vikram's journey, and they wanted to make a movie. And that's where the journey started. And when I met Shabir bhai for the first time in 2015, let me tell the audience that the idea of the movie came almost close to 7 years back. Of course, we came up with the movie in 21, but it was 2015. When Shabir bhai had approached, and we sat and we started scribbling the thoughts, and then the journey started. That we came with the idea that who does the role, and Shabir bhai got us introduced to Siddharth Malhotra, and me and dad went. I'll tell you the exact date also, 24th of December 2015, when me and dad met Siddharth Malhotra for the first time. And that's where, then of course, Shabir bhai had his own course of action, primarily speaking to a director, then of course the producer who could really fund the movie. And Dharma happened later. Dharma came much later in 2017-18, when we thought that finally the script has been written. And that's where we were very happy, that we always wanted that Vikram's bravery and his story should reach every Indian household. And it is not about making the movie. It is not about any of the commercial of the movie, to be very honest. It is all about that his story, and through his valor and his story, people of the country get to know not just about Vikram bhai, but about all the people who laid down their life, about all the men in the uniform who does protect our motherland, who does safeguard our borders, sitting on those mighty peaks. And that was the intent behind. And I think we always ended up believing, and me and Shabir bhai, we become very thick friends. He's like my elder brother. We still end up believing that it's only Vikram who is driving it right from the top, sitting somewhere in the other corner of the heaven. Right? Whether it is the movie success, or it is about Shabir bhai making a movie, or Dharma getting into making of a movie, or Siddharth done so well, post this movie. So that's the way it just began. And finally, the whatever steps we had taken, the dream what we needed culminated into the end of coming like a movie for Shershah.
Lovely. That's because I remember when Shabir bhai told me about you. It was around 2016 when he had come back. He was really talking very very highly of you, and he was praising you and such things. And उसी दिन रात को it was so nice of you. I can't forget our first interaction. I was truly overwhelmed. जब मैंने text भेजा तो मुझे लगा आप शायद जवाब ना भी दें, मगर मैंने अपनी तरफ से तो कोशिश कर दी. And when I saw the number flashing, Vishal Batra calling, I was like, कहीं गलती से तो नहीं कॉल बैक कर रहे हैं, कहीं गलती कहीं जेब में होगा, ड्राइव कर रहे होंगे गलती से, या तो दब गया हो नंबर. And the way we hit off, अरे it's amazing विशाल भाई, it's amazing. You have tremendous energy, and मैं आपको क्या बताऊं, जितना मैं बोलूं उतना कम पड़ेगा हमेशा. So tell me about currently, tell me about after the film. How has life changed for you then after? Have there been more girls swooning for you after the film or before?
Not like, to be very honest, anyhow, being an identical twin, I think the lot of people used to recognize me anyhow when I used to travel, and a lot of people used to come and ask me. But Capt comes at me with a doubt: should we go and ask him? Now the change after the movie is that people bump into me, Vishal Batra, right? I think that's one change, right? Is what I've seen primarily when I travel. Whether I'm traveling by air, whether I'm in a restaurant, whether I'm in a shopping malls, and it is also about not about being. I wish the thing which really sometimes troubles my own heart, I'll be honest, is that every time you have to live with the same emotion, it also brings a lot of pain inside. At an individual level, being an identical sibling, to be very very honest, because end of the day, whatever said and done, Ali Bhai, I wish if I could ask one thing from the God, was that I wish he would have seen by himself that what he's done for the country. And how many people he's still inspiring, right? Younger generations, including me, my own brother, because end of the day, I'm a sibling. But for me, before a sibling, I think he was a man in the uniform, right? I wish he could have seen it all by himself, is the only thing which comes to me in my mind. And sometimes it hits me really, really hard. But end of the day, being a man, I would say rather you have to contain your emotions. But personally, to me, it is far more painful also. I'll be very, very honest with you, because sometimes a lot of people don't ask. And you have to traverse whole of the journey, time and back again, time and back again, time and back again. While there's a moment of the pride talking about your brother, but then कहते हैं ना कि वो एक void जो होता है, that is only becoming deeper, because end of the day, I'm catching up with the age, right? I'm 48 now, right? So sometimes it becomes emotionally.
You don't look it at all. You don't look it at all.
So generally, right? But yes, I think I always thank God on a daily basis that I would have done definitely some good karmas in my old life or my previous life, that I fortunately got to be a twin sibling to him in this life, and he has done so much for the country and for the Indian Army. Right.
So
for me, nothing changes in the sense that for me, Vikram is Vikram. For me, he'll always be my love. For me, he'll always be my twin sibling, right? For me, he would always be the most, I think, a beloved person, and the only person, or I would say a confidant in my life until the age of 24 years. When he got into a different, I would say rather what he created a, niche for himself and became a legend, right? So I think blessed to be a sibling, and that's nothing changes to me end of the day. For me, he's still the same love. I still cherish my memories, being together, in a lot of competitions when we used to play table tennis. I still, cherish all the memories. When I was a boy captain of the school and he was one of the house prefects, the way we used to fight, the way we used to compete, the way we used to travel together. I wish, only one thing that, we had dreamt a lot of things that since I couldn't make it, I always used to tease him. Are जिस दिन तू brigade commander बनेगा ना उस दिन ऐश करेंगे तेरी star वाली गाड़ी में. Right? But yeah, I think life takes its own turns, and you have to keep on moving, right? So could be possibly the time has not stopped for him. People remember him. But for me, and sometimes you have to stop and really relive and only live with the memories which stay with you.
Absolutely, bhai, absolutely. His again unit officer, his that time rifleman and now Subedar Major Sanjay Kumar, who was also Paramveer Chakra, who was my instructor in academy. He trained me. In fact, I spoke to him today. I called him, Major Saab, Jain Saab, and happy.
Yeah, he's
very happy to be. Ji.
Yeah,
He was
very
very
nice.
He told me. He told me, साहब अपने पुराने कैडेट से बात करके हमेशा खुशी मिलती है, and such things. And so of course we were remembering your brother and your family.
Very nice. Very nice.
Vishal bhai, Thank you so much. There's so much to catch up with you on, and there's so much to talk to you. And मैं बता रहा हूँ आपको, हमारी गुफ्तगू खत्म ही नहीं होगी बिल्कुल भी. तो और मैंने आपसे 30 मिनट की दरखास्त की थी, और मैं I've already overshot my time by 5 minutes, and I am feeling very guilty of that. But I think
No,
you will pardon me.
please don't say this. Don't say this. And it's absolute honor, and it's always so full of I would say I get so much energy when I talk to you. I get so much of love. I get so positive vibes, and all my blessings to you. For the great work you're doing, the great word you're spreading about the armed forces, the great things you're talking about the Indian Army, about the Indian Air Force, and I think all God's blessings to you for continued health, continued success, and all the endeavors you undertake, Ali Bhai. Don't worry for this. So absolutely no
Thank you,
worries on
Vishal
that.
bhai. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I truly appreciate you taking your time. And I see you are still in the office, and it's getting late for you. You are extremely busy, and really grateful to you. Lots of love, bhai.
God
And my
bless.
regards to everyone at home.
I will do that. And thank you so much once again to you and to all the audience who will be listening to me. God bless all. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you, Vishal bhai. Bye, bye. Bye. I'll end the broadcast.